Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Member Spotlight by Anayat Muslim Chamber of Business. MCOP is a membership based social enterprise with a mission to create a thriving Muslim business community. It's the power of collective wisdom, continued learning, and thought leadership brought together for Muslims by Muslims. Our core belief is that business leaders thrive when they have access to a supportive community of peers who challenge and inspire each other. Today, we have with us our member, Sabeen Hasan. Sabeen is the co founder and CEO of HueMan XP, an AI powered emotional and cultural companion designed to give children a safe space to grow emotionally, just as playgrounds give them a space to grow physically. Through HueMan XP, kids develop the skills that machines cannot replace: culture intelligence, CQ, emotional intelligence, EQ, and adaptability, AQ. Welcome, Sabeen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum, Kashif.
Walaikum assalam. So, would love to learn your journey, how you started and where you are today.
Great. I think I'm going to start from my childhood. When I was a little girl in Pakistan, if you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would always say a CEO. Back then, funny enough, I didn't even know what CEO meant. All I knew at that time that I wanted to be someone who could solve problems, to create an impact, to lead. Um, which I actually learned watching my mother doing in neighborhood with relatives, even when she had nothing. So that's how I actually grew up in a small lower middle class family as one of five siblings. I learned grit from my father because he was actually providing for the family and doing well. And then my mother kind of like helping everyone out. So learned empathy from her. Um, it, I think at the age of 18, I sold a piece of jewelry to attend the Young Leaders Conference, and that cracked my world open for me. I learned like possibilities, independence, collaboration, and that's where I got an idea of actually going to the US on my own and doing something. So that's when I left for the US with those beliefs and a suitcase, a couple of $100, and a stubborn dream. um, Came here. That's when life started testing me right away. I actually was studying full time, working multiple jobs, and with that, trying to kind of like learn life. I still remember the time. There was a day when I got my first paycheck, um, and I it got stolen while I was waiting for the bus, the whole bag. And I had to actually take out a piece of, like, crumbs from a chips bag, that I pulled out of a trash can because I didn't have anything to eat. So those actually opticals were my actual turning points that actually taught me quite a lot in life. Taught me that emotional strength mattered as much as academic skills or performance. And that's how actually Human XP was born, because I was like, this is something like emotional strength that every classroom should focus on, besides, like, the academic performance. Then right after like completing studies, I started climbing up the corporate ladder, as an HR leader, working with Kayak, Open Table, GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, like BMS, the CoverGenius. So my job there was to build culture for businesses, to drive outcome, to scale them, to help them scale from, like, few hundred employees to thousands of employees. And I saw like a real struggle in building that culture and people coming together to collaborate. And that's when I kept coming back to that question: what if we got to build that emotional strength in kids from early on? um, what if we didn't have to struggle at this particular point when it's almost too late? So that question ultimately led me to build Human XP, and that's where I am today. Now, if you talk about Human XP was born from two sparks. One was like personal. So as parents, my husband and I, we kind of like, lived life on our own terms, kind of like, traveled multiple countries, cities to make life. So we knew that we have to provide our son a safe space where we don't have to speak from our unhealed places. Because what happens, as parents, we love our children, but sometimes we pass on our unintentionally, we pass on our anxiety, our stress, our emotional baggage to our children. um, and what we wanted, like we wanted our son to kind of like, grow up in a emotionally safe environment with he gets to build his own emotional core strength, through stories, through games, through immersive story telling. So we built that ecosystem for him, where we got like nannies from different cultural background. They would come play with him, do games and stuff like that. And we actually witnessed our son growing resilience, confidence, adaptability. He would go to a grocery store, talk to people. um, like he knew, like, what to bring up in front of who, and how to actually, if something is not going in his favor, how to change it. So he's only 8, but he got to actually show all that strength even now. Another thing that I noticed in the classrooms and like schools, they become a place to download information, which we could download from anywhere. We could download it from like our laptop. This is an information age where like it's AI driven world. Kids can download information from anywhere. I think classroom should do more than that. Classroom should focus on like whole brain development, beside and focus on like, global perspectives, how to thrive in uncertainty besides besides traditional academics. And that's what I thought was missing in the classroom. So we thought about like bringing that, and then eventually, like, then AI came, and AI actually started reshaping work or corporate world faster than any curriculum could keep up. So in that particular time, the skills that matter the most is like adaptability, cultural intelligence, emotional intelligence, where even if your technical skills become obsolete, you know how to adapt, how to change, how to problem solve and move on, and move forward in life. So that's where some of the actually lessons that we learned that made us started Human XP.
All right. So let's dive deeper into Human XP. What does it do? What type of functionality does it have?
So Human XP, I would take Human XP as, like, we innovate like beehive. So you know how bees, they don't thrive alone.
Hmm.
They build an ecosystem where every part comes together to, like, work. So Human XP is like that. It's at the intersection of AI, ed tech, and SEL, social emotional learning, and cultural intelligence. So what it does, we have brought together like the psychologists, educators, um, um, technologists, as well as cultural intelligence center to actually build cultural intelligence, emotional intelligence, and adaptability in kids at an early age. So it's actually, if you talk about Human XP, it's for school. That means leader who focus on social emotional learning, mental well-being, and whole brain development. Schools that want to give like global perspective and cultural exchange opportunities alongside traditional academics. So Human XP supports teacher by making classroom engaging and inclusive. And what makes it even more powerful, that it doesn't just create like emotional space. It also provides scores and insights into child's emotional and cultural growth, and show that to like parents. So if you're looking for like adaptive and safe place for kids to grow emotionally and culturally, Human XP provides all that. And it also helps teacher by becoming their cultural companion in the classroom, by making classroom culturally responsive as well as engaging. um, and for children navigating migration, because there are 43 million kids that are in migration context, right, or cultural transition, Human XP becomes a constant non-judgmental companion, helping them adapt, belong, thrive, while giving parents and school visibility into their journey. Not just that, we don't provide like content or lessons in just that. We actually have created multiple games. So Hui, our companion, emotional and cultural companion, it plays a lot of games, and it does a lot of activities with kid to build all these strengths in them. Plus, if kids want to actually connect with the real cultural host to learn about a particular culture, Hui connects them with the real cultural host, where kids can actually connect with real human, um, and learn in a VR environment through activities, games with that real cultural host.
All right. So, in addition to the school environment, kids can use it, or parents can use it for their kids at home, and kids can grow emotionally and culturally.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's not just to build social emotional learning and cultural intelligence, but also kind of it's in the preventive mental well-being space. So you know how there are kids, like one in every third kid, that are kind of like going through some sort of isolation and anxiety, right? Here, human XP is that companion who's there, who helps you grow emotionally, who kind of like helps you stand up to the bully if you are actually experiencing that, if you are struggling in the classroom to actually speak up, or like to gain confidence to speak up or to become more visible. Human XP would do that for you, to help you bring that out. Um, uh, it help um, it helps kids reduce anxiety, and all that. So it kind of like works in the preventive mental well-being space, where before mental well-being becomes a crisis, right? So that's when human XP comes into play. It builds you emotionally, and like make sure that you can integrate into any multicultural environment without any issues.
Okay. Can you share a little bit more about the team that you are managing that is working on building this?
Sure. We do have like a really great team that is working with us. We do have like a technologist, our CTO, my co-founder, who is a Stanford trained technologist, who has built digital award-winning products with PBS, Gaia Industries, as well as biodigital. So he is in that biotechnology and neurosciences, that space as a technologist. Then we do have the product leader, who has worked with companies like Roblox, Sesame, Fisher Price, etc. So she was the creative force behind those games. So she understands like how to blend games and like early learning, blend that together to kind of like bring something that is engaging as well as a learning experience for kids. Then we do have our researcher, like our psychologist, our content provider. So
Mhm.
we have like the team of psychologists as well as the cultural intelligence, cultural experts, that have given us like frameworks that we are using to train our human. So he's trained on like psychology framework as well as cultural intelligence framework, to make sure that he act as an expert and become that early development assistant as well as psychologist assistant, to help them sort of like build the social emotions, or like the emotional maturity in kids, and provide that emotional playground to them.
Okay, all right. And most of your team is based out of US?
It's a remote global team. Because we're building cultural intelligence, we had to start with where we also bring in global perspective. So our team is based out of Mexico, US, Pakistan. We do have folks in Canada as well.
Okay, all right.
And then I have like a separate series team
Mhm.
that's based out of Dubai. So yeah,
Okay,
big team.
all right. No, that sounds good. And when is the? I understand that you are right now in the works to launch the product. So where are you in your journey at the moment?
So we have already launched prototype, where we showed like multiple games that we built with the gaming studio. So we are partnering with the gaming studio. Um, um, and then what we did, we ran like workshops in 6 different schools in 3 different countries. only in private and international schools, because they have like resources, and they understand the importance of providing global perspective, and they do have bandwidth to provide, like, that whole brain development support right in the classroom. In that process, we ran workshop with the prototype, and we got like really high ENPS scores, where people loved that whole concept, like, whole brain development, etc. So we're looking to implement this particular platform in those schools. The goal is to reach hundreds of school, um, thousands of families worldwide, and then sort of launch immersive VR experiences in 2 years time. So we are working with multiple different schools. But if I talk about like growth, I don't want to talk about growth in numbers. The real vision is to make sure that there is at least one child in the class, in every classroom, that feels seen because of HueMan XP. So that's our major sort of like goal that we have set for ourselves. So our goal is to reach every single classroom, and to reach families where we can actually help children actually thrive in this, in future, in the future, as a future workforce, or like, as a leader. So we want to nurture that emotional core strength in them, that they can actually use later on to thrive as a leader in an uncertain environment.
All right. Sounds good. My best wishes are with you in your growth, and looking forward to see a successful company making a difference worldwide.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot, Kashif.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sabine, for being part of this journey with MCOP and being a member over here. And inshallah, I can see like where you started and how you explained to me about your journey, and the audience, how you explained where you were and where you are now. I can only see that there's a great growth potential in terms of like the heights that you're gonna achieve in your life, in your this business venture. Inshallah, you have been very successful on in corporate America, and now have worked on the C-suite side over there. And now, inshallah, this venture is gonna take you to the new heights.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kashif. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Again, thank you for being our member.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Alright.